Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to share some of my thoughts and perspective on some tragic news that I heard had taken place today. Well, many of you, or at least some of you, may know that legendary guitarist Glenn Frey of the Eagles died today at 67 years old. He apparently had been battling rheumatoid arthritis, acute ulcerative colitis, and pneumonia, and he tried to combat it for a number of weeks, valiant battle with it, but he had succumbed to this today, and sadly he has passed away. He was a member, one of the founding members of the revered, I believe it's I call it soft rock group, the Eagles, and which was really one of the more thriving and one of the more popular soft rock bands of the 1970s. I mean, I was born in 1970, but I during the 70s, I mean 75 and on, like obviously I have some of these songs embedded in my subconscious. How can I not? They were very popular. I loved soft rock music and still do. I do believe the 70s and the 80s were the best decades for music, almost unequivocally, but that's just my opinion. And this is one of the bands that had some of the best songs of the 70s. They really made for me the 1970s really, as far as the music period goes, really awesome. And he also, many of you may know, he had branched out and did some solo songs as well. He did in 1982. He sang the song "The One You Love." This is kind of ironic because recently I had been watching this song on and off, kind of sporadically on YouTube, and this was a song really that was one of the better 80s songs, and really, I mean, this really hits home. This song, "The One You Love," and I love the part when he says, "Are you going to thank the stars above you?" And there's just something about that one lyric in it that just really, it just almost leaves this indelible kind of like impression. Just kind of stays with you. There's certain songs and have certain lyrics that just really stay with you in such a strong way, and you in the positive sense, you just can't seem to let go of it. It just seems to stick with you. And many of you may know that on my astrology channel, obviously I talk about things pertaining to astrology, and Glenn Frey was born on November 6, 1948, obviously a Scorpio sun, and I mean, he just struck me, and for somebody being a Scorpio, having a strong, indomitable spirit, and I believe he showed this during his battle with the physical or the ailments that he was dealing with, and somebody that really was a fighter to the end. Scorpios do fight to the end in many ways, and I think as far as combating death, I think it goes without saying that that's another thing that they fight to the end for, and with something that they fight to the end, and I think that is no exception. And really, and another great, I mean, this is a group, the Eagles are a group that transcends time. His music, Glenn Frey, what he did, being the guitarist, I mean, his music, whatever he did, his contribution to the Eagles transcends time. There was a great song, it's called "The New Kid in Town," came out in 1976 by the Eagles. And it's funny, they have one lyric in it that says, "They will never forget you till somebody new comes along." And it's funny how that one lyric can actually apply to other things as well. It's kind of like how we are as people with products. It's kind of like, well, the Atari, well, that becomes obsolete, so we'll get we got in television, back like in the 70s and 80s or what have you, and LG, this computer's gone. this Texas Instruments is something that I'm not into. Let's see if we get a digital mainframe. So you get the idea. It's almost like you could apply this to almost like even how we treat possessions. Sometimes is how sometimes sadly we'll treat people. Somebody becomes the new thing, so to speak, and it becomes Mr. or Mrs. Popularity. And then when somebody new or somebody more exciting or more appealing comes along, a lot of times people will just go to that person and leave that other person behind. Whoever is the more popular person, a lot of times will get the greater attention at that time, and then that other person kind of is discarded, so to speak. And I think it's funny how that's almost like, I guess you could say, analogous with possessions. But anyway, I mean, this was I mean, their songs left such a strong impression, indelible impact on me. It's not even funny. And the Eagles, to me, I mean, obviously this man has passed away, but the music that he contributed to in the Eagles songs and the songs that he did solo, obviously this will live on forever. He may be gone, but obviously the legacy he left behind will not go away. And the only thing I have left to say is Glenn Frey, rest in peace. This is Edwin Learnard, and until next time, people, stay well.